Clarity changes everything. A habit isn't good or bad on its own. The question is, what is this habit paying you? Is it moving you towards your created future or keeping you in your defaulted future? Coach V, tapping in. Clarity changes everything. Today, I want to share 3 coaching principles: neutrality, the payoff, and your created future, and unpack how your habits influence the choices you make and the future you create. So, principle number 1, neutrality. Habits are neutral. Habits don't care about how you feel, how you think, whether you had a good day, a bad day, or anything. It's just neutral, meaning that what? It is just there. Habits are simply repeating behavior. They are not inherently good or bad until you examine what they are producing. So the question is, what is this habit paying me? In other words, what is the payoff here? Which brings me to principle number 2, the payoff. Habits have a payoff. Every habit delivers a payoff, whether it's comfort, convenience, certainty, avoidance, health, confidence, I meant to say, or growth. The question isn't whether there's a payoff. The question is this payoff worth the price I'm paying? So if I have the habit of doing esteemable things, that will naturally build my confidence. If I have a habit of putting things off, avoiding things, then I create the habits of avoidance. There's a payoff there. I'm avoiding things because either I don't want to do it, it feels uncomfortable, whatever it is, there is a payoff. But the question becomes, is this payoff worth the price I'm paying? Principle number 3, your created future. Habits create your future. Very simply, your habits become your systems. In other words, your operating systems. How you do what you do when you do what you do. Your systems shape your outcomes. When you do what you do when you're doing what you do, it's going to shape your outcomes. Your habits are a very big part of that. Your future isn't determined by one decision. No, it is shaped by what you repeatedly do. So, for instance, I like to get up in the morning. I call it the power hour. I get up in the morning, I go to the gym and I work out. While I'm headed to the gym, while I am in transportation, I read. So I get a chance to read. I go to the gym. I work out. On my way back to my destination, I read again. Before I even go to the gym, I might read something for 10, 15 minutes, or I might journal for 10 or 15 minutes. These are habits. What do they do? What do they pay off? When I keep those routines, what simply happens is I'm in a better mood. I have more energy and I am in a better state of mind. I have more energy because I did something. I paid myself first. So that is a payoff for not only for me, but for my community as well. It's nothing like meeting someone who is in a decently good mood. I don't know if you've ever run into people who are in a really, really bad state or a bad mood. We have care and we have compassion, but I would prefer to run into somebody that seems somewhat peaceful, relaxed, and confident. So the habit that I created, my routine, pay myself first, do things that feed my body, my mind, and my spirit. So the question is this habit moving me towards my created future or keeping me in my defaulted future? So, in other words, what is the difference between a created future and a defaulted future? Well, if I do the same thing without thinking about it, and I don't periodically take an inventory to see whether something is moving me forward, keeping me stuck, or moving me backwards, then that's where I'm at. So if I'm looking at something and I go, oh, I read, I go to the gym, I journal. What's the payoff there? Again, positive mindset, more energy, a little bit of discipline is cooked into that. And I feel better about myself. I feel more confident. So that is the payoff. But here's the creative future. If I feel confident today and I continue to do my routine, that means that tomorrow I will feel confident too. And even if things don't go my way, I won't handle it the same way because I've invested in myself. I invested in myself in a way to do what? To power up my energy through what? Journaling and writing and exercises. So I have energy. So when things come across my way that may not be what I want it to be, I don't feel like I got a ton on my back or a ton on my shoulder for me to carry because guess what I've done? I've taken care of myself. Right? And again, a defaulted future is doing the same thing and expecting different results. In other words, for the example that I'm giving, if I'm not taking care of myself, chances are sooner or later that's going to show up in another way. It might show up in my mood, it might show up in health problems, it might show up in the way I communicate with people. It's going to show up one way or the other. So, again, we can create habits that create our future, or we can keep doing the same thing that we've always done and expect different results. So, what are the three things that we're talking about today? So, your creative future, what's the payoff, and habits are neutral, meaning what? There's no wrong, right. They are not personal. They don't care whether you had a good day or a bad day. It's just a habit. It is a habit. But what we want to do is look at it in a way that no, habits are neutral. Yes, that's 100% true. However, how can I use a habit in a way that enhances my life, both personally and professionally? Listen, I am Coach B, the CEO, co creator of Extraordinary Outcomes. Clarity, counterbalance, and freedom. This is how you own what's next. Share, like, or leave a comment, and share this with a leader who wants to own what's next. And I'll see you next week.